Good morning, friends. My name is Ajay Sharma, and following the field of immigration has been a passion for me, and it's been a passion for me since last 20 years. On regular basis, I present these videos to guide and inform the prospective migrants on various subjects related to immigration. This particular video that will follow is my attempt to simply inform and guide you. It should not be taken as legal advice in any manner whatsoever. You should always take advice of a regulated consultant or an authorized representative or a lawyer before taking final steps. From my side, this is an attempt to inform you and guide you in the process based on my knowledge, my understanding of what the immigration process or processes are about. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this journey of information as I talk about the Express Entry program to Canada. To start with, a very happy new year to all of you. And I do not think, in my experience of last 20 years in being in Canadian immigration since 1994, I have ever been more excited than the recent announcements by CIC, Citizenship and Immigration Canada, through a program called Express Entry Canada 2015. What is significant about this program is how realistic the program is, not only for the government of Canada or its provinces or its citizens. The program is so realistic about the prospective migrants who want to really make Canada their home and live and work permanently in Canada. You may ask me why I am saying so. Because the government of Canada has, practically speaking, taken the right away from a prospective migrant to file the application. In the earlier process, applicable till 31st December, one used to have a list of occupation. Based on the list of occupation, there used to be a point system, and anybody who used to qualify for that particular occupation and met the minimum pass mark requirement could simply go ahead and file the application, and if picked up while and before the quota was filled up, he used to get the visa. It's as simple as that, after fulfilling all the rest of the requirements such as medical and PCC. So one would say, why is it that the system is more practical and more realistic from the point of view of prospective migrant? Okay, let me just briefly try and explain that situation. What happens is this, that when you are alternatively, when compared with the earlier system, always used to be, a really a stressful period for everybody who had intention of filing the application under the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Now, why there used to be stress? Because there used to be a quota per occupation, and then there used to be a total number of applications quota even for that. Under the new system, what's happening is this, that first and foremost, and that, like I mentioned in the beginning of my discussion on this subject, in last 20 years, it's never happened that today, practically speaking, everybody and anybody could really make an application under Federal Skill Program. Why? Because all the occupations under O, A and B category, not to confuse with technicality, all that you need to do is go onto our website www.abhinav.com and see the entire list of occupations which can make an application under the Express Entry program. For the moment, let me put it this way, whether you belong to marketing or science, or you are an academician, or you are an engineer, or you are an IT professional, you may belong to any particular stream. You have had a few years of experience, practically speaking, you are likely to be qualified, because right now there is no limited list of occupation, 28, 29 list of occupations. Practically speaking, every occupation now can qualify and be eligible to be qualified and accepted under Federal Skilled Worker Program. Tell me the last time that happened. I think the last time that happened was in late 90s or early 20s, which means that everybody can apply. So can the situation be more favorable for any prospective migrant than before? I do not think so. So number one, I think that's the biggest plus that I can think of from the viewpoint of prospective migrant. Number two, why it's extremely important and significant from your viewpoint as an applicant is this. Earlier what used to happen is for each occupation there used to be a limited quota of, let's say, 500 applications. Now there is no such quota. So this means that if one is picked up from the pool, and I'll talk later about the pool, and one gets an invite, irrespective of even if more applicants have been chosen from your claimed occupation, you will still be able to file for your application for permanent resident visa. So again, there is no per occupation quota limitation. I think that's another very significant component of this express entry program. Third is this, that if you are really interested in filing for this program, that your occupation is qualified, there is no quota applicable, you're already relaxed. What do you do next? What you do next is this: you look at your qualifications, you look at your experience, you look at your spousal qualification, look at her experience. And by the way, not to say that those who are unmarried cannot file. Of course they can file. In fact, there is a separate, the entire point system called comprehensive system called CRS. So again, I'll talk about that later at length. So anybody who talks about who gets qualified under CRS, practically speaking, means that more the number of points in case of spousal qualification and experience, one can claim more points. If both the spouses are highly qualified, have excellent English language skills, again you get more points, which means more higher the ranking that you will appear in the pool. So I'll again talk about the ranking as I proceed forward. So again, a wonderful situation, because more qualified you are, more the number of years of experience you have, and similar for your spouse. And if you are unmarried, higher your qualification, better the English language communication skills you have, more the experience you have, more are the chances that you will appear higher in the ranking, and thereby increasing the pool, your ranking in the pool, and thereby increasing your chances for getting selected. So it's a dream situation again for you, because earlier what used to happen was that everybody was competing against the quota. Now what will happen is this: everybody will compete against other applicants who are in the pool, which means more qualified applicants, more experienced applicants, applicants with better English language skills, applicants with advantage of having spousal credits will again be higher in ranking, thereby increasing their chance of getting accepted from the pool. Typically, this is what happens. You first start the process by filing your application in the express entry pool, and in that particular pool, what will happen is this: depending on your qualifications or your experience, you will file your application and you'll submit your application. Once you get your application has been submitted, you'll again be ranked against other applicants, other candidates who are in the pool. Here brings in another key feature of this particular express entry program. One would say, what, I do not have a job offer, and what I read on the net, it means that if I do not have a job offer, I cannot apply, and thereby my ranking will come down. This is simply not true, because even if you do not have a job offer, you are permitted to file your application and into the express entry pool, and you will be accepted. And keep in mind that not all, in fact majority of people who will be part of this express entry pool will not be having job offers. So in majority of situations, you will actually be competing against candidates who also do not have the job offer. So what will the criteria be? On what basis your chances of being picked up from the ranking will be? Well, it will be very simple. Like I said earlier, better the skills, better the qualifications, more the experience, more are the chances that you will be accepted from the pool. another significant feature of this particular program is that, Canada Job Bank. Now, in terms of Canada Job Bank, I think that's another very, very key contribution by the Canadian government, by CIC, by through introduction of this Canadian Job Bank. So what will happen is this: even if you have your application in the express entry pool, will it mean that you are in process for the express entry application? No, you are not, because after your application is submitted in the pool, you must also submit your profile, your resume under what's called Canadian Job Bank, using the personal reference number from the application that you have submitted in the express entry pool. So you also have to submit within 30 days your application in the Canada Job Bank. There will be a matching in due course, which will happen between Canada Job Bank and your application in the pool. And look at the other positive aspect. Let's say you are picked up from the job bank by a province or by federal government or a Canadian employer, which means that you'll get an offer. Earlier that was not happening, but because you had no process of approaching a Canadian employer. Now there is a Canadian government backed process called Job Bank, through which the employer or the federal agencies or the provincial government will look at your profile. And if you get a confirmed job offer, just because you happen to be in the express entry pool as well as in the Canadian Job Bank, what will happen is this: you get an offer, that offer you update in your express entry pool, and immediately you improve in the ranking. So you can start the process by getting into the pool even when you do not have an offer, but you never know, in coming days, in coming weeks, because your profile happens to be in the job bank, you will end up getting an offer and you will move up higher in the ranking. So this is again a very significant part of the Canadian Job Bank and its creation, and linking it with the express entry profiles is another significant part of feature of this particular program called express entry. Moving on, so you have filed in the express entry pool, you are part of the Canadian Job Bank, and then what happens? Then what happens is this: on regular basis there will be draws which will be picked out. Draws is another significant feature of this program. So draws which will pick out the candidates on regular basis, and those draws will be held against regular procedures which will be announced on the CIC website. So there will be absolute transparency on how the draws will be conducted, and if your profile is picked out of the draw, then you are issued invite to apply for Canadian permanent residency. Just hold on here. So you thought, I've been picked up from the profile, I'm going to get the invite. Not necessarily, because even if you are picked up from the draw, and this is the most critical thing and the feature of the express entry program that you must understand and remember and keep in mind, that express entry program is just a selection process that's been introduced by the Canadian government. It is not the selection criteria for the federal skilled worker applicants. The selection criteria continues to be what it was till 31st December 2014, which is 67 points you must get in the selection grid out of the 100 possible points. And if you have been picked out of from the pool, express entry pool, and if you meet the 67 points criteria, only then you will be eligible to file your application for Canadian permanent resident visa. So keep that in mind. And if you want to know what the federal skilled selection criteria and 67 points is, and whether or not you meet that 67 points criteria, either simply mail your profile and that of your spouse if you are married. If you are unmarried, either way, simply mail your profile to contact@abhinav.com. We'll do the assessment and revert to you, or you may simply go to our website abhinav.com and carefully review the link Federal Skilled Worker Point System, and you'll immediately get to know what the 67 points criteria is. So now you have the invite to apply, and how do you move forward? You have the invite to apply, you meet the 67 point system, you've been picked up from the draw. The next step is very simple, and that's another feature of the express entry program. You got the invite. you have the point system, what you do is this: you will file your application. Again, it's likely that even second stage process will be online process. You'll file your application along with the application processing fee, and subsequently you'll undergo medical, undergo security clearances, and finally get the permanent resident visa. It's been indicated by the Canadian government that once you have received the invite to apply and once you have filed your application, they will process the entire application within 6 months' time, and that's a wonderful news. So these are the key features of the Express Entry program. Putting in minor points here and there, your profile will stay in the Express Entry pool for 1 year, and after 1 year it will be withdrawn, but you have the advantage of resubmitting your profile as many times as you want, even after 1 year profile 1 year is over. And secondly, again you will get into the process of again resubmitting the Canadian Job Bank also. And so you have as many multiple chances of getting selected. As you know, circumstances can change. So what circumstances you face today may change 6 months from now, and thereby it may improve your ranking. Number one, so your profile will stay for 1 year in the pool. Number two is this: the Express Entry profile, even once you submit, so once you start your process of submitted, so you can update it as many times as you want before final submission. Even after it's been submitted, you can continue to update your profile in the Express Entry pool. So if you have reasons to believe that your chances of moving higher in ranking once your file is you have submitted your profile will increase subsequently, you can update your profile in the Express Entry pool, thereby again enhancing your chances of being accepted. So in short, it's a wonderful opportunity. All occupations are qualified, processing times will be reduced, you will be competing against other candidates, and you will be competing against qualification, experience, and language skills. So it's a dream situation, and if you do not take advantage of these dream situation, I have no idea of when you will ever be able to fulfill your dream of being a Canadian permanent resident. Thank you very much, and I will ensure that any query that comes into contact@abhinav.com is properly responded, and you are given the due service that every Abhinav client gets now and has been getting since last 20 years. Thank you. Always visit www.abhinav.com for everything latest on Canadian immigration news, or news on anything, any subject under the sun on immigration.